the comments in the chat. Just let me know and I'll go through them. I'm not gonna go through every single one of them, but you guys can see things are just really, really slow. Okay, 1 second. Okay, all right. So WLDS, let's talk about WLDS. So WLDS, right? Initially, okay. So again, when things happen in the morning, there wasn't really a whole lot of anything going on today. I think you guys have realized that by now, right? There wasn't anything going on. Things was just very, very slow, and we're trying to see, which ticker can actually have the volume to go. Now, of course, at the point of time, there was only two tickers moving, right? It was WLDS, and I think was it Ento, or it was Ento and of course EQ, right? Well, it was Ento initially speaking. It was Ento for a bit. And then after that, EQ came along, right? Now these two have very similar nature type of news, right? In the sense that they are both um companies that has news, in the sense that their news is them selling their shares, right, to raise funds. Now, generally speaking, that is also the same thing as an offering, right? But one of them is the launch raise, and the other one's a private placement. But in a similar nature, the news over here is I sell my shares to raise funds to keep up with my operations, and that is good, right? That is I would say that is that's basically what the stock is running on. So Entol was the one that started running first. Now, of course, this ticker, it was running very nice. I mean, it had some nice action, right? I wasn't really very interested in this because first off, again, it's running on what's that? On a offering type of news, right? So I don't really like it. Okay. But I mean, from here you can clearly see that the market was very favored, or at least the algorithms back then was very favored these type of raising funds type of news, which is why EQ did this move over here, right? From 60, 70 cents all the way to 125, right? So because of this, WLDS did not get the love it needs because the volume was inside two of the penny names. One was Intel, one was EQ. And I think besides that, there was literally nothing moving. There was BJDX, right? We traded this, right? Remember, we traded this, right? 190 all the way to 2 plus. But you see, that was it. Okay, at the end of the day, this didn't have a catalyst, right? It was more of an intraday technical setup. So this is I mean it was a nice play. All right. We never lost 180, right? This was a very nice play. But you see, at the end of the day, these companies, right, when they do not have a catalyst, it makes it very hard to justify how high they can go. Because I mean there's no value in them, to keep going on over here. Right? There is no value in them to keep going on over here. They could make very nice moves, but that's why today every single play that I take, right? I keep warning you guys, I keep telling you guys, you know what? Just focus on the base hits, focus on the base hits, focus on the base hits. Because today is like that, right? The ones with catalysts are the penny names, but they have completely broken down. So, and when they break down, all right, that means that we won't see any sort of continuation move from them anymore, right? You look at EQ, you look at Ento. I mean, they're crazy. They have a lot of volume with them, both of them, right? It's crazy, right? A lot of volume, both of them, but it didn't amount to anything. So a lot of these setups today were mostly technical setups. We talk about GMHS, right? This is a technical setup, right? They don't do anything. I'm still in over here, right? Still got some shares left. We did hit 215 multiple times, right? Two times, I think, but I'm still in, right? I trimmed some at 214, but that was it. So it was very technical setup. Does this thing have news? No. Right? Did BJDX have news? No. Right? Did BTI has news? No. Right? The Ento only Ento and EQ has news, but they all died. The MRM has news. No. it was a very technical setup day, right? So it's very hard for us to kind of understand, or rather have unrealistic expectation on stocks going crazy. Because first off, there is no catalyst. There is no justification for them to be that high. And that's one of the, again, that's one of the reasons why in pre-market, WLDS, what news did this have? It has pattern news, right? Low daily average volume, could do something explosive. But did it do something explosive? No. Why? Because there was no what? There was no catalyst. I mean, the catalyst did not fit what the algorithm wanted, right? The catalyst did not fit what the algorithm wanted. So it was very, very slow, right? It was very, very slow over here. So the first play over here was 2.1s. I got into 2.1. Now, look, I understand that. Look at this. I got into 2.1s. I told you guys I was looking for 225 to 230, right? Now, even though if I would say I'm looking for 225, come on. If we hit 223, 224, please, right, secure something over here. And plus, I think a lot of you guys over here could have even gotten better entries than me, right? It's not just 2.1s because this is the 814 candle. The 814 candle was right here, and we went all the way down to 2 something. So let's just say you guys added the dips over here. This thing popped back up to 220s, right? I mean, it's not bad. Could go crazy. It's a low daily average volume. It has pattern news, not best, but it's something. Okay, it could go crazy. I mean, you never know. But market was very slow in the morning, right? So this we gotta accept a little bit. Okay, I trimmed some. I closed the rest on the 205. Raised my stops up, right? I raised my stops to under 2 instead of 185. So I was small green over here, right? It was honestly close to flat, right? Nothing much to really brag about, But this is how you manage your risk. Do I have to take a loss over here just because, my stop loss, my original stop is 1.5? No, I gotta raise my stop because again, today everything is very technical, right? It's very, very slow. I want to keep everything very, very tight, right? So that's just one of the thing, right? And then secondly, the next thing I said, 205 breakout. Did we actually break 205 at all? We never did. I mean, look over here. We did not break 205 once, right? Candle never closed above, right? Not even until market open. Didn't even matter anymore because we never broke it. And again, if you look at the volume that WLDS have, it's only 19 million shares been traded. So because the volume clearly flowed into ENTO and EQ. I mean, you guys can clearly see the market decided to favor these plays a little bit more. Okay, but you see, at the end of the day, these news over here, right? EQ, ENTO, I mean, they're not good quality news. They're not. I mean, raising funds, it's the same thing as an offering and whatnot. Or they're not good news. But I'm only really trading them because that's what the algorithm is pushing at that point in time. If I trade anything else, right, like WLDS, I'm not gonna get the love it needs because the algorithm is, pushing these financing news, right? Like EQ, this is announces up to 50 million financing into advance, blah, blah, blah. This is literally the same thing. I mean, somewhat similar to what ENTO is. ENTO shares are trading high after the company announced it secured 3 million through pre-funded common warrants. Right, it secured 3 million of funding by selling shares, by selling warrants. Right, so pretty sure EQ is the same thing, but it's private placement, but it's the same thing, right? It's selling shares, purchase agreement, stuff like that. So that was what the market at pre-market was loving. Obviously, we still have BJDX, which was still a very good technical setup, right? No news over here, but some bit of action going on. Price went down, consolidated a little bit, some bit of action over here. I love the fact that this over here, this gray box over here is our daily gap, right? I love the fact that the price reclaimed this, right? Try to break out from this gap over here, especially this part where the price went down, wicked off the daily gap 4 times, and not only that, wicked off VWAP 1 time, volume came in. That's the reason why I took my entries on this candle over here, 186, right? Which is, I mean, if you look at the time over here, so 1 second, 844, right? It was right at this candle. Because again, price weekly VWAP went inside this gray box over here, which is my daily gap. Okay, look at this on BJDX. Right, which is my daily gap. You can see that. There's the gap over here, right? And we had very spectacular candlestick action over here. You see wicks 1, 2, 3, 4 supporting off this bottom band of the daily gap. And this final one tapped the VWAP and bounced off. Volume came in strong. I got in on this candle. And you can see we moved to 225, but that's it. Because there's no catalyst over here. I could have won more. I wanted more, but there was no catalyst, right? So I cannot justify, or the market's definitely not going to justify this move going crazy, right? It's not going to justify this move going crazy. I mean, you can see that's a very nice continuation, right? Price, you can see after that, price never lost a gap. We started basing on it, but you see that's at the end of the day, that's it, right? That is still it. Okay, right? So it's a very slow day. A lot of base hits, all right? There is a lot of base hits, and you see this is what I keep telling you guys, right? When it comes to slower markets, you guys need to be able to accept and navigate around the markets in these conditions. Because let me see this person. Because when you oh my god, what the fuck? Because uh when you can only be profitable when the market's hot, which is not going to happen all the time, right? Then it's not going to be beneficial for you. It should be at least sort of possible throughout the entire market conditions. I'm not telling you guys to accept this as a norm, right? But if you started trading, if you started looking at pre-market today, I think there's more or less some sort of um perception that today's market might be a little bit slow, isn't it? Right? Because this is why I always tell you guys, right? When it comes to a Monday, right? When it comes to a Monday, right? I always like to take things a little bit slower just to make sure, just to see how the market condition is like, it's going to be like for the rest of the week, right? And today tells me that things might be a little bit slow. It's not like we don't have runners, but it has been the same style as yesterday. No catalyst runners, right? The catalyst runners are shit, right? They're still pennies again, taking volume for the market. You can see GMHS, not even 100, not even 50 million shares. BTI, not even 50 million shares. BGDX is pretty okay, but again, you can see what did it do at the end of the day? No catalyst. It's great, but is it good for chasing? No, right? So it is slow, and we have to, right over here, see that, right? It is slow, but we have to adapt. Okay, you're not supposed to only be profitable in the normal market condition. That this is where I become more conservative in taking profits. I keep my stop loss very tight. I raise the stop loss up. Right? This is where it all happens. Okay, yeah. So now the only positions I have left right now is going to be BMNR. Right, I'm gonna play off some dips. Stop loss is gonna be under 55. I think ETH is definitely taking a little bit of a breather right now. But as long as for me, if we can get a very nice dip to like low 30s and stuff, I can reposition it for some swings, but and whatnot. But I'm gonna play around some dips over here for now, as long as $35 hole. Um, we did hit 70 from our 50 from our 64 ads, right? Down to 61 today, which is pretty decent. All right, it's a psychological level, so it is what it is. But for now things are looking a little bit weaker. I think Ethereum names are taking a cooling measure across the board. But it doesn't mean that's over. All right, so that's that. I'm no BGDX. I have run stuff. I think this is done for today, right? So it is what this. TLSM still, I mean, this is still nice. Okay, I'm just gonna write this. Raise stops on the 210. GMHS, I don't plan to swing into this. I don't plan to swing this into after hours. It's a Chinese name without news. I don't see any sort of um redeeming factors to holding on to this. So I'm just gonna close it off because the market's gonna close in like next 15 minutes. If it starts flowing in after hours, I'll revisit it again. If not, I think it's done. Right? Ento, EQ, I told you guys during the afternoon session, right? Because these two are so inverse to each other, they're not really breaking down. I think it's best to avoid because it's too much noise. And you can see they didn't really do anything for the rest of the day anyway. I was waiting for this to break 11:10, never happened, no play. Okay. So yeah, and I'm watching BTAI for potential 6.95, $7 break. Right, $7 breakout over here for a trade. Now 740 is going to be a strong resistance level on the daily chart. So we do expect some bit of resistance around the 730, 740 area. But if we can actually breach 740, I think this can go double digits. Again, not a momentum play though. Right, this is because this is not a momentum play. This dropped news last week and it has been grinding up ever since. All right, so but it's not momentum. It's pure technical. Just like how everything has been today and for the past few days. Right, ever since last Wednesday onwards, when SGPX started the penny run, kind of destroyed the market. And I think no matter how much you trying to find plays today, I don't think there's a whole lot, right? We got Ugrow, right? Ugrow was another one as well that there was literally nothing moving. This was hitting the scanners. I told you guys to look for entries at 51s. It went down to 47s and we hit 57. But you see, that's it. Is it that's it? I want to aim for more too. Like, trust me, I want to aim for more too, but that's it. There's literally not, I mean, I can't expect this to go higher because there's no news over here. And plus, momentum in the market is pretty dead as well. So I do not want to force it because it's slow. And I have to adapt. Just because I want it to go doesn't mean it will go for me, right? So there's not much I can do. Of course, there are some situations where, because my trading style is mostly momentum, right? My trading style is mostly momentum, and when momentum slows down, I can't really capitalize I can't really maximize my fullest potential for my strategy, and that's fine, right? Some market has downtimes like this, and it's slow and whatnot, but again, it should not stop you from being profitable, right? It should not stop you from being profitable. See, I was very conservative today, right? I wasn't, whatever the case is, I wasn't like leaving like 50% for like a move to like $10, $20 and stuff like that. You know how I usually say it, I'm looking for 10, 20 for the remaining shares. I never say that because things are a little bit slower today. And I understand that. I have to adapt. Because if I don't adapt, I'm just gonna end up taking losses, right? For absolutely no reason. Okay? All right. Let's get some questions in. Are you swinging BMNR? I've taken my profits. All right, I'm sitting around 61s right now. I've taken my profits over here on the move to 70. Of course, I will. Remember, if we're looking for a swing entry on something that has been running since 30 plus, I mean, you're crazy. You cannot treat this as a swing, right? You have to treat this like a day trade. I will close my position if we cannot hold 58 just to keep myself green over here, and I'll revisit this off swings. I'll revisit this off dips if we can hold 55s. But again, CPI tomorrow is going to affect the market quite a bit, so we have to see what happened. All right. Um. So yeah, it's just a slower day. Britai went crazy. Any thoughts on when to enter? So for me, I never like to buy my position in the middle. Okay, so again, waiting for the $7 break. If not, I'll wait for a dip setup tomorrow for a potential play. Because remember, this over here is an intraday setup. I mean, it's a multi-day setup. You can't expect this to make any sort of continuation move later. I mean, it could. If it breaks 7, I'll jump into it, right? I'll try it. But if it doesn't, then you have to understand that this ticker did not go from 1 to 6 in one day. It took multiple days, right? You see over here, it went up, but it still went down, right? So you should, and you see it went up over here, but it still went down before going up the next day, right? But you see, even the next day didn't really do much of anything. Only after like 2 days later, it started going up. So you don't have to rush you don't have to rush into it right here. I think, if it sets up tomorrow, we can look for an opportunity. But it's not every single day it's gonna do this, by the way. Right? You see, this did this correct, but it still went down. This did this today, great. But you see, for this day and this day, it did nothing. You see that? Right? So and who knows? Maybe tomorrow we get something great. We get something that runs hard. Do I want to be looking at this anymore? Probably not. So you understand the dilemma right here? Sorry, so that's why for me, I'm not really touching this right now. I wait for the 7. If not, I'll wait for tomorrow. MRM is not an inside bar setup, right? It has broken that inside bar setup. Okay, an inside bar setup is supposed to have well, I mean, I try to want to keep the wicks in between the body of the first candle, but I'll definitely be watching this into tomorrow as well for continuation, just in case, because it is very impressive today. It's holding on. I mean, we got some nice trades over here. All right, 275 to 3 plus. I still have some shares. I'm gonna hold on to this. I'll close the rest on 260. Gonna give back some, but it's okay. I secured most of it. Because today is very slow. But you can see even a non-momentum play like this is slowly grinding up because the momentum plays are not pulling their weight. They're just super slow. Right? They are super, super slow. Yeah, MTC is Chinese, so you guys already know when it comes to Chinese plays, right? Always random shit like this happens, right? But there's no structure. This is completely random. You add it, you hope it goes up. If it doesn't, it dumps on you. That's all. There is no consistency. It's not a system you can repeat on, right? It's just very, very random. For example, if we need to play a 320 breakout, if the candle closes at 330 or even 325, there will never be a case where the candle closes at 325 and opens at 310. BB. That will never be a case. It will never happen. That should not happen. That's not how candle works. So we will talk about this 5.1, right? So if I would say 5.1 break, sure, the candle can open at 520 above it, but you can never have the candle opening below, because if the candle opens below the breakout level, that just means that the candle never broke out. You understand? It should never happen, because if it does, it means that the candle is has not broken out. The candle has not broken out if it opens below the 510. If once it opens above 5, so let's say if it goes to 330 and it closes at 330, I don't know, it should open at 330 or 320 something. It should never open below the breakout level. And that's where you get your confirmation of a breakout. EQ, I'm no longer. I'm not in. I'm not in anything right now, guys. Right? I'm only close BMNR over $58. Right? But other than that, I'm really not in. I think GMHS might do something later. Right? You want to watch this? Maybe you'll see. Right? If there's no after hours flow, probably not, because there's no reason for this to flow. Right? The volume is not the. I mean, it's only 29 million shares. It's not a lot. There's no news over here. I mean, it's Chinese. No news is better, but still, you can see it's just very very slow today. And the scanners are just slow as hell too. I don't think you get a whole lot. Okay, what do you guys think? Don't you guys think today was a little bit slow, momentum wise? You guys thought it was okay? Or you guys thought it was slow? Yeah, it was slow. It is slow. So we gotta not force too much. And even if I do, right, I made sure to tell you guys that, let's not aim for too much. We aim for base hits. Yeah, I'm green for today, by the way. Am I green a lot? No. Right, I'm only up 2,000 plus today, by the way. All right, I'm not up much. I'm only up 2,000 plus. Okay, as is compared to the whatever happened on a usual basis. But green is green. I'd rather be $5 green than $20 red. You know what I mean? Right? I have to adapt to the market. That's just how it is. Nah, it's not. I mean, how can it be? If I'm green 20,000 today, it's crazy. It's not. What do you think the resistance of GMHS will be? I mean, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't think, right? I mean, right now you can clearly see that the resistance level is at $2. Okay, but resistance doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that it breaks up from resistance means it's gonna go. Okay, so we'll see. We'll slowly ease into the week. We'll see what happens. Okay, keeping my eyes on this BTI $7 breakout in after hours just in case. If not, we'll see what happens in after hours. Maybe we get some after hours flow. If not, we'll see what happens for the rest of the week. Right, we'll slowly ease into it. Right, one day should not dictate your entire week. That's just how I say. One day should not dictate your entire year. All right. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I was playing around with some profits and stuff. It was pretty good. I mean, that was pretty no-brainer. I keep telling you guys it was SBAT 2.0 potential. So, and we did really good multiple days and stuff. So I just kind of I was more aggressive risking profits. I was losing 50% of my profits instead, but then the move went crazy. So, it was good. It compounded. Yeah, it compounded, right? So yeah. Okay, if not, I think that's pretty much it. Not much to talk about. Any other questions before I go? I want you guys to always understand that when it comes down to it, okay, you can be wrong, right? You can be wrong. No one's going to be perfect, right? What's important is you respect the plan and you cut and you move on. Okay, for me, Monday, I know today's slow. So this is going to affect my approach to the market for the next few days. Of course, whatever the case is, I'll still try, right? Maybe tomorrow there might be something that changed the pattern, and I hope so. But if not, should that be an excuse for us to be red? No, just smaller profits. That's it. Not smaller profits, but base hits, right? You should still be able to make your profits. There's this one guy. I wanna. I mean, maybe I can show his name. Okay. Or maybe not. Okay, maybe or not. But you see, okay, you don't have to trade the whole day to be green. You don't have to. Some of you guys over here have day jobs, like I said. You find 1 or 2 trades a day, you trade it and you call it, and that's done, right? This guy over here, right? It's his 3rd green day in a row. He says join. He hit its goal, he don't trade, right? It was 1% of the account. It's low, but it's perfect. 1% a day is 20% a month. Yeah, so long as it works, it works. On a day like today, it's perfect. You don't overtrade because when you overtrade, you start taking unnecessary losses. Okay, but if you do want to trade, you have to make sure that you uh keep it tight. Oh, so say it. Okay, all right. Look, even if you guys were, some of you guys over here, let's say you guys were making $20 today. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with making $20 a day? Is it bad? It's not bad. $20 a day is $400 a month. So think about that. That's too extra. I mean, it much better. $20 or -5. Which one would you guys choose? $20 or -$5. Which one would you guys choose? Or $5 or -20. Which one would you guys choose? You guys know what I mean, right? So yeah, okay. So just manage your expectations. We'll see what it goes. I hope things changes, but if not, I'm always ready to tackle the market in whatever condition because I understand and I know this is part of the market cycle. The market will heat up again. It's just a matter of when. And this is not the time to leave because if I were to leave the market right now, right, and it's let's say for example, you think the market's low, market's low right now. Let me stop. I'll come back when the market's heating up again. What if the market heats up tomorrow? What if the market heats up tomorrow and you left, and then you see the market heating up and you decide to come back the next day, but the next day things slows down. So you're always going to be chasing the cycle, right? So the consistency every single day has to be there. Okay, and then we'll see what's up. Okay, all right. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Gotta send my wife to the airport. Stuck at 4 a.m. over here. And yeah, I think all in all, today was slow, but I would say manageable. 26 USD is still great. I mean, at least you're green. At least you're green. Right, but of course it has to make sense, right? I don't want you to be like taking profits for the sake of taking profits. I never ever wanted that, right? It's taking profits because of base hits that lead to smaller gains as compared to parabolic runners, but that's why you have smaller gains. It's not because it goes up 1 cent, I close my position to take profits. No. Okay, all right. Okay, so if not, that's it. I'll see you guys around tomorrow. Hopefully things changes up, but if not, it's okay, right? Trust me when I say this, the market will heat up again. It's just a matter of when. Right now it's summertime. Things are generally known to be slower during summer because people are probably taking holidays and shit like that, right? Completely normal. Okay? Right? So mine gotta adjust things a little bit for this month or for the couple of weeks or so, unless we see things change. All right? So if not, I'll see you guys around and take care tomorrow. Cheers.